We'll call the August 14th, 2024 regular meeting of the Board of Selectmen to order. Please join us in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Tell us the August meeting. So just for the record, so Deb Downey and myself are here. Ben is out today, but we do have enough people for a quorum, so that's good. So we just want to start the meeting with condolences, and we wanted to share our sadness on the recent loss of Frank Prapnacki. He was a former member of our rec commission who served for nearly 3 decades, which is amazing. Actually, as of recently, he only stepped off in 2023. So we're sending our condolences to his friends and family, as well as to the rec commission members who served with Frank. And I'd ask that you join us in a moment of silence. Thank you. Any comments from the public? You can say anything, Jean, if you want. You're good. Or Sally, you're good?
I'm good for now until we get to the item.
Okay. I'm going to make a motion to approve the regular meeting minutes of July 24th, 2024.
So, oh, wait.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The motion carries. Thank you, Stacy. So just under correspondence, to note that Charles Sheehan is requesting reappointment to a second term as regular member of the PZC, which we're very grateful for. He has his chair. That's wonderful. Michael Sheffer's term on the Conservation Commission expired on July 31st, and he's not seeking reappointment. So we, if anybody knows anyone for conservation,
So now we have at least 2.
Yeah. Because Fran also stepped down. So we'll look at that. And then we received notification from Ray Trepasacci, Marcia Standish, David Lee, and Lynn Young, who are all interested in serving on the Charter Revision Commission during the second phase. So we thank everyone who's already served on the first phase, and it's wonderful that we have 4 members who are interested in staying on, which should really help move things along.
So then we'll open that back up.
It's open. It's currently open.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so if anybody knows anybody, if you're watching and interested, live in Stonington or know someone, we'll be accepting applications kind of on a rolling basis for now.
I think through August 23rd, and then we can interview just anyone new that's interested. We obviously interview them.
Okay.
I think we're
Get your
at
applications in by August 23rd.
Yeah. Or anytime.
So how many, we need
5. It's 5 seats.
5 seats.
Okay, so we need 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
So only one more. John Prue submitted an application for an alternate position on the PZC. David Resendez, sorry if I'm saying your name wrong, David, submitted an application for ZBA or PZC. He's just interested in serving. Mark Camo's term on the Architectural Design Review Board ended on June 30th, and he's also not seeking reappointment. But we just gotten them up to where they could have their full meeting, so hopefully we'll be able to find another person willing to join there. And then Shannon McKenzie submitted an application for the Mystic River Boathouse Park Implementation Committee to replace Chris Gorsick, who had stepped off. So thank you to Chris and Shannon for being interested. So under reappointments, I'll make a motion to reappoint Leslie Driscoll to the Architectural Design Review Board. Could I get a second?
I second.
Any discussion?
No, I'm happy that she adds quite a bit to the discussions.
All right, all those in favor? Aye, motion carries. And then I'm also going to make a motion to reappoint Jennifer Herbst to the Conservation Commission.
I second.
Any discussion?
No, thank you to
Yes.
Jennifer.
Thank you, Jennifer. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. So on the Housing Opportunity Commissions, I'm going to make a motion to reappoint both Meredith Bogue as a regular member and then Liz Stern as an alternate member to the Housing Opportunities Commission.
I second.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I can't believe it's been a year.
I know. I was just thinking the same thing.
And we do have openings on that board as well if anyone is interested. Ledgely Health District Board. I make a motion to reappoint Eugene Pfeiffer to the Ledgely Health District Board.
I second it.
Hey, any discussion?
No, thank you.
Appointment I ever had.
Thank you. Better than constable?
No, thank you very much.
Thank you. Ledgely does really important work, so thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much, Jean. So under resignation, Anne Marie Castagno Clark has resigned from the beautification committee. We thank her for her service to the committee. And then, as we mentioned previously, Chris Corsick resigned from the Mystic River Boathouse Park Implementation Committee, and we also thank him very much for his service as well. Okay, old business. Small clarification on the ballot questions regarding the proposed changes, amendments to the charter of the town of Stonington. So, this is really more, I'd say, small housekeeping, but we wanted to be sure everything was like super above board and super clear and clean. So instead of just making these changes in-house, so that'd be really good to just come back and redo it.
Yeah.
But again, they're very small wording changes, nothing substantial. And thank you a lot to Stacy for the back and forth with Attorney Mednick on this kind of grammatical stuff. But so after our last meeting, Attorney Mednick, representing the Charter Revision Commission, wanted to clarify the ballot questions to ensure the effective date of the changes that are being proposed, and added additional language into each of the ballot questions, and also added a fifth question. I'm going to read all of these into the record, so put your feet up. Shall the town charter be revised, this is what changed, effective upon approval of the voters, to fill the position of town clerk by the selection of well-qualified hired candidates to be selected through a hiring process upon advice and consent of the Board of Selectmen, thereby eliminating the elected position of town clerk, this is what changed as well, at the conclusion of the current term of office. So you'll note this in the next one too. The changes, just to be clear for the record, are that adding in the segment that says effective upon approval of the voters, and then at the very end, at the conclusion of the current term of office. So just again, to be super clear. So the next one is, shall the charter be revised effective upon approval of the voters to fill the position of tax collector by the selection of well-qualified hired candidates to be selected through a hiring process upon advice and consent of the Board of Selectmen, thereby eliminating the elected positions of tax collector at the conclusion of the current term of office. And then number 3. Shall the charter be revised effective upon approval of the voters and following the next municipal election, so that's the big change there, to increase the term of first selectman from 2 to 4 years. Number 4, shall the charter be revised effective upon approval by the voters to A, add 2 appointed alternates to the Board of Assessment Appeals, B, reduce the Inland and Wetlands Watercourses Commission from 7 to 5 members, C, add 2 appointed alternates to the Shellfish Commission, D, add 2 appointed alternates to the WPCA, and E, reduce the Commission on Aging from 12 to 9 members and add 3 alternates. And then number 5 is a new question. Shall the charter be amended to include standards for the qualification, recruitment, review, recommendation, and approval of the appointed town clerk and tax collector, other administrative officials, and directors? So again, just to clarify, it's already in the other questions, but that was smart to just add a 5th question to really define how the hiring process essentially works.
That makes sense.
The remainder of the resolution approved at our last meeting is the same. However, we will reapprove the resolution with the updated ballot language. I make a motion to approve the resolution with the updated ballot language.
Second.
Any further discussion?
No, I think he did a great job clarifying things
Okay.
that, we hadn't even picked up on before, but like at the conclusion of the current term of office.
Just to be, that way there's no subjectiveness. And then Sally, did you want to add anything?
Well, I was talking to the attorney also today at the close of the day, and I think that I would like to suggest that question 5 be made to be question 3, just because question 1 has to do with town clerk, as it stands now, question 1 town clerk, question 2 tax collector, and then you have 2 more things, then you go back to town clerk and tax collector, and I just
No, that makes a lot of sense.
proposing
that
that
does
it
make
be
sense.
all
Yeah, that whole
following each other
segment.
because it's all the same category?
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. So we'll ask that number 4 become number 5 become number 4 in the
Agreed.
ordering.
No,
That's a
I
good-
agree,
Yeah,
that's a
I
good
think
point.
logically it makes more sense. That's a good catch.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, it would be number 5 would become number 3, and then everything else would shift down.
Number 5 would be 3, right, 3 would be 4, and 4 would be 5.
Yes.
Oh, excuse me, sorry,
Yeah.
yes. 5 becomes 3 and then it just shifts. Yeah. Okay. So 1, 2, then 5 becomes 3 and then, 4, 5.
I'll just note it properly in the minutes, the new way.
Yeah.
it'll be-
So do we have to change the motion to reflect this?
No, because you motioned to approve
The
the
changes.
updated ballot.
The
Oh,
language,
okay.
yeah.
All
I
right,
think
okay. No, I agree, that's a good change.
All right. So the motion was, to approve the updated ballot language, so we're good. All right, so all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes. Okay, thank you, good catch, thank you, and thank you very much, Stacy. Okay, new business. Okay, we haven't done ARPA in so long, we're back, ARPA. So if you remember, and Ben isn't here, so I don't have to go back into it, but we decided, I think it was very smart, to make up our own process for
Yes.
how ARPA should be allocated, because there really was no process, and we wanted it to go through the Board of Finance as well as the Board of Selectmen, even though we could have had all the power ourselves. But no, it was a very good balance of power. So the Board of Finance actually approved this last week, so now it's coming to us, just as a reminder, you were here when we designed it, so you would know it well. But basically what we're asking, and we'll also have more ARPA stuff probably coming at us in September, maybe October, which I can go into in my update. But this one specifically is about Public Works has requested a reallocation of funds within the ARPA budget in the amount of $123,941. And that comes from the line items for the tennis court project, the town hall parking lot, so you just won't be able to do it in time, and the contingency that's left over from the salt dome.
And contingency, period.
Just a general
contingency.
contingency.
And then
Yeah.
it's moving
Sorry,
over
yes,
to-
okay. And then we're moving it to a little bit that was needed for the salt dome, the Pawcatuck sidewalk project, and then the Washington Street drainage project, which should complete that project, by the way.
Oh,
which is really
really?
exciting.
Okay.
And we have
All
Amtrak
right.
and DEEP and everybody's approval.
Okay, all right. I was going to ask about that. And I was also going to ask about specifically, what is this for the sidewalk project?
So I think the sidewalk project went over by like $5,000, it was a very small amount, but to cover that, what we went over for the previous Route 1 sidewalk project.
Yep.
Similarly, the salt dome was only over by a very small amount. Most of this is going, I think, I don't have it in front of me, but I want to say,
I have it.
yeah, it was 70,000 is going to Washington Street drainage.
60, it says here.
Oh, sorry, I don't have my whole packet in front of me. It's fine, you have it right there?
I do.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yes.
Is it, oh,
Yeah.
is that,
Yeah, it's okay, yeah, thank
oh,
you.
that's what you,
Yeah,
yeah.
so
the
you have it in
second
front of
page,
you.
Sidewalk 56, yeah, paving, no, drainage 60, sidewalk 56, and then this next page. Sorry, it's sideways. So it was up here.
Salt dome.
Salt dome,
7,000.
7,000. Okay.
Okay,
Yep.
yeah, so you can see where everything.
Yep.
And so the Board of Finance approved it on Wednesday, so yeah, now it comes to us to hopefully approve, and then I can give them an update on the rest of it.
Okay. No, that makes sense. These are already approved projects and they're already underway,
Yeah.
so, okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna make a motion to approve the line item transfers within the ARPA budget of $123,941.
Second.
Any further discussion?
Yep.
Okay, and I'll give an update during my comments on the rest of it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Good, thank you. And Chris, thanks you for not having to come back again. So the request, next one is street number assignment. The request is that street number for map 145, block 1, lot 5A becomes street number 165, New London Turnpike, Stonington, Connecticut, 06378. I'll make a motion to approve the street number assignment.
I second.
Any discussion?
Nope.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The next one is street number for map 148, block 3, lot 6B becomes street number 189, Nautilus Way, Stonington, Connecticut, 06378. I would make a motion to approve the street number assignment.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, and then look at, we're here. So next thing is comments from the selectmen.
I don't have actually that much. I am working on some questions regarding the grant at 21 Mechanic.
Okay, thank you.
I'm trying to bring Molly up to speed
Okay.
because I got some questions
From the
from
property
Mark
developer?
Hempel
Okay.
on behalf of the property
Okay.
developer, and they're questioning some landscaping they're being required to do,
Okay.
saying that it will impact their remediation. So I'm asking for a copy of the plan, the remediation plan, because it's hard to
Okay, thank you.
evaluate
Yeah,
impacts without documents.
yes, thank you, because, yeah, he was calling and had concerns and questions, and I could not answer them, so thank you for connecting with him about, yeah, the actual,
Yeah, I'm not certain where the landscaping, I reached out to Candy, it's not from her, and Molly's not familiar with it.
I think it's from building,
Okay. all
but
right.
it's, we could also probably just dive down there, but it did have to go late, so I'm sorry, so we could talk more with Candy.
Yeah,
and- But
okay.
I think it came directly from building, and it has to do with the other bricks that are,
All right, I just wanted to understand it
Yeah.
before I replied to
Yeah,
them, just to
thank
let
you.
you know.
Okay,
And I'm
perfect.
I'm asking ideally for copies of
yeah,
reports.
that would make sense.
Because, I mean, we're the ones that are kind of on the hook, it's a
Okay.
grant, we signed it,
Yeah.
we'd like to see it. So, we also had a question from DEEP on the Mystic River Park project today. They're finally reviewing the remedial action plan.
Okay.
I looked at it, the LEP asked me, I'm going to respond to him tomorrow, it's a very straightforward question.
Okay.
So,
All right,
I
that's
don't
great.
think it'll cause any issues. And then the only other thing is, I don't know if this was, I said this last time, how I did meet with the Seaport
Yes.
on their
Yes.
pedestrian safety ideas for near the Wells Boat Hall, the hotel, the park. And Shannon has reached out, trying to set up a meeting the first week of September.
Oh, okay.
So-
Okay. That's
And
it.
Molly, it's going to be a time that Molly can be there because it's associated with a grant. So I don't know, you and I will have to talk about who goes.
Okay, yep.
Whether I go to some, you go to some,
Yeah.
or whatever, and whether it's time to involve the police commission.
Definitely. I think they probably should have already been, so
Yep.
yes. But
So-
that'll be perfect. We can,
So I'll just communicate through Stacy and we'll decide who goes.
perfect, yeah. No, and thank you for stepping in on that. That was really helpful to have somebody there from the town, so thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. And I haven't, honestly, with a lot of meetings not happening because of the summer, I haven't really been to any meetings recently, so.
I know, good, you deserve a little break. No, that's great. And Stace, jump in with things I'm forgetting, but first, because Jean is here, we had a good meeting about the Waterfront Commission, and I think it was really productive, and we're gonna kind of circle back again, but thinking about, like, I think one is, are there ways we can improve, and jump in here if I'm missing anything, if we can improve, there's definitely ways to improve, I think, our, process and flow for being sure that they're notified as ample time as we can. Obviously, sometimes things come in, Stacy always sends everybody the instructions to go to them, but to be sure, Jean very graciously offered to be our point person to help improve communication. Because obviously everybody has different communication styles, so it'll be helpful.
I just want to say that I will make sure that Stacy hears from me with this information, not Stacy, I'm sorry, that, I can't think of her name, but the woman who works at the water.
Oh, Leslie,
Leslie,
Yes.
thank you.
thank you for SNEPLA. So Leslie's
Yeah,
there.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I
I'm
think
sure
it's
that
great.
Leslie knows, because she's the one who should really be.
Yeah, thank you. So Jean's going to help us kind of, and Sandy as chair is wonderful. Like we said, it'll be helpful to have a dedicated kind of communication person. So that will be really great. And then also thinking about, they've, in the past, since we've been doing this, we've been focused more of them as the go-to for the town dock. But really, it's anything with Waterfront. So thinking about involving them more in the circus lot, which will be really helpful.
The boathouse?
And to some extent, the boathouse, even though they're their own committee, that they're still our waterfront commission, so we should be involving them there. Things where we want to be expanding uses of Donahue Park and looking at that, like how can they work with the rec commission or other, the Mystic River Boathouse Park Commission. But the circus lot definitely came up, so I think it'll be, really beneficial and helpful, and kind of to leverage them a bit more because they're a great group.
No, that sounds good. And this would be where that, remember I had indicated that I had been approached by somebody who was concerned about the town dock, the filming the way
Yes.
that happened. So this would fall into that communication for the future.
Absolutely, yep.
Okay.
Jean, did I forget, miss anything? You can add in.
No, thank you, I appreciate this.
No, we appreciate it, so thank you.
One of the things we're looking into, just so you're aware, is we're having difficulty with it, but public access to the waterfront, especially in the pockets on the Walking River down there.
Hasn't really been
Something we're working
historically
on.
well documented, and we're potentially losing what should be public access over the years, so they've been great trying to help figure that out.
No, that's great. That's great. And that does tie into the circus lobby. So, it's okay.
Just want to make sure you don't put condos in the town dock.
Yeah, no, me too.
Right next to the sewage treatment plant.
Right, no, that's so important that that stays the way it is. So let's see, okay, we're doing, because I brought this up at the last meeting, we're still doing more research on the potential property tax discount for for volunteer fire EMS first responders. I had a good meeting with Jennifer. She gave me some information. We're still working with CCM and cost and the COG. It's August, so it's a little, summer. Because it's relying on surveys of people responding. So we'll get some more information. I owe Josh, who was one who reached out to me about this, an email back, so I'll update him.
Okay.
But maybe at a September meeting, we'll have more time and research to be able to talk about it.
Okay.
But the little bit of research we did, like I said, it just kind of, there's a big gamut. But what I'm hoping to do by the next meeting is to get information from all the different fire districts, how many volunteers they have that would meet this criteria that live in Stonington. So
Okay.
Jennifer can then run numbers to see what impact different abatements, discounts could have on our grand list.
Okay.
So hopefully I'll have all that for September. So that is one thing. The other thing is we had a really positive, productive meeting about Safe Streets for All grant that Molly has been leading on. So we had our town planner, police chief, director of public works, myself and Molly all participate in that. And I think it was really useful. I was kind of thinking about like what do we want from that potential planning grant and what should the goals be. So if you have any interest or thoughts on that, just reach out to Molly and you could share with her. She could tell you what she's thinking or what we all put. But I think it was really helpful because everybody had different pieces of it. And I think when we all came together, it was helpful. So it was like, everything from thinking about, it was similar to our DOT walk audit. Is there low-hanging fruit that we could do, like improved lighting, adding trees closer to make it feel, road diets, lowering speeds, to bigger infrastructure changes like bike paths, sidewalk connections, where's the key kind of network areas that are missing or the gaps. So she'll put together kind of an outline and submit that as the grant for what we're looking for and how much it might cost.
Okay. So this wouldn't help the Seaport with what they're approaching because they've already got the plan.
Yes.
They're just looking for money to actually implement.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, this is for this grant cycle or for this grant allocation, you have to do their planning one first or already have this plan. And if not, comprehensive safety plans, and then after that, you go after implementation dollars.
Okay. All
It
right.
still exists. That's been great. We also had a really good meeting with Human Services and the school, the new middle school principal, the superintendent, and the director of facilities, and talking about this great potential after-school program that Kristen King at Human Services has been leading with the 2 part-time staff members we've brought on that have been great. They've only recently started and already been fantastic, and partnership with the Como. And so we're really excited. We think it could be really, really impactful. The school is very much on board. It relates right in with everything that they've been trying to do, and we're trying to support, obviously, with getting people less connected with the phones, replacing it with more kind of structured, but like free, safe free play, independent time. The Como's been wonderful. They talking about opening up their campus so people could leverage their not just their sports, but also their maker space and their pottery studio and their kitchen. And so we're really excited about the potential there. So the school's going to come back with what spaces might be available, how the bus, after the late bus, might be able to work, how we can do that. But it's early days, but we're hopeful. Everybody was really good team effort. And then maybe launching it for October. We think we could get 20 kids, but people could sign up per day in like certain segments. So people should hopefully stay tuned, but if anyone's listening, I told it, but if you are, they can reach out and we could share more information on that. We also, thanks to Stacy and Captain Schneider, are very, very close to launching the town app.
Oh, good.
They're just still trying to get a few things fixed before we go live, but Brian got a lot of promotional material from the company that put this together, so hopefully that'll be going out soon. Stacy, anything to add on that?
About the app? No, I think people are going to really like it once they get it and get used to it. I think it's pretty neat. It has push notifications, so, you're getting information immediately. A lot of people, like Gene was just saying, he utilizes the email blast, so, he really likes that. So some people might still want to do that, but some people might like it just coming over as a text. And so hopefully it's just another way for us to continue engaging and communicating with residents.
Sounds good. It's going to be really fun. So the Board of Finance meeting, we thank you for coming to the promotional ceremony for Officer Palmer.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm happy
That
to
was
do
really
that.
nice of you to come. The only other thing I guess is probably very, just trying to look at this, more time relevant is our intern Kyle's last day is tomorrow. And he's just been amazingly helpful. Stonington High School graduate, and it's been great just having him part of the team over the summer. So thank Kyle on record.
Oh, no,
He's
that's been
really,
wonderful.
really great. And Stacy's been a great mentor to him also. And he's done some great work. So I think that's really good. Anything else big that I'm forgetting, Stace?
And I have two questions,
Yeah.
just because I want to, one of them is, so I saw that, you got the thing from John, is the P&Z, it's still going to be open until September, and then we'll interview at some point then?
Yes.
Yes, because all of our schedules are a little bit bonkers now, but we figured since they have 2 alternates, it's not a rush.
Yep, agreed, okay.
But yeah, so we have the two candidates right now, so.
Yes, and I think, I can't remember now, I'm going to confuse the dates, but I think David is not available for our first September meeting, but he's available the second, I believe, to interview then. I think.
Wait, David, so that's,
David Resendez.
oh, okay.
So it's John and David are the
It's
two
John and
people
David,
who,
okay.
applied so far.
Okay.
So yeah, so we.
And I won't be here the second September meeting. I'm pretty sure I can't call
Yes,
at
that's
9.
right, yep.
So just,
Okay. Like I said, I don't think they're,
yeah,
they've got 2 alternates and
Okay.
that's,
all right.
Great.
We'll probably be looking more at appointing that maybe in early October-ish.
Okay, that's fine. The only other thing, and I know we probably don't have anything to do with this, but with regard to the primary, do we have to have all the places open all day?
I think that's all required by the state.
It's
I
like,
know,
that's
because of the
why.
early voting. I think it would be helpful, and we've been talking about this with the registrars, but you talk to your state rep, who I'm sure will be on board with this, and whoever will talk, we'll all talk with our state reps and senators, but like, this is the first time we've done early voting, and maybe to give some feedback, and maybe they could look at amending how they're implementing it, because for certain things, it's a huge commitment from people, and the money and the time and the effort,
For not a lot of turnout.
for really not a lot of, really, and.
I literally was number 12 when I showed up in the afternoon, but,
Yeah, and how many days it's, and again, I was a big advocate for early voting. I just think we're learning as it's being implemented that it was maybe, a bit too open. So I'd say, encourage people to, engage their reps and senators, or they can also write directly to the Secretary of State's office.
okay. I'm just concerned about the cost, obviously. Especially if on primary day, you have to have it open all day, then perhaps we cut back on some of the early voting. Not obviously for large elections, but,
Yeah, so it's a lot of days.
okay.
Yes, but it's good to offer feedback. And then I feel like I'm definitely forgetting so many things I had meant to write down, but the only, yeah. Anything else, Stacy, that's pressing?
What else we were looking at? So Washington Street is all good.
Oh, ARPA, that's,
Oh,
okay.
ARPA, yeah.
So at the next, whatever meeting everybody will be at, so we can all talk about it. But essentially, we went through, I think it's like 330,000, something like that is left. It was left in ARPA. We have to have it either spent or have like a PO for it by the end of this year, calendar year. The
Okay.
Board of Finance wanted to clarify, not fiscal, or
Okay,
government
all right.
fiscal, calendar year. And so things like the town hall parking lot, it still has to happen. We'll probably put it in for a SIP for next year, but like it can't, it's not gonna be able to happen by the end of this year. So
Yeah.
things like that we went through where we're like, these just aren't gonna be feasible by the 4th District Voting Hall. That was for phase 3, we're still in phase 1. And again, nobody's fault by any means, it's just, the way things happen. So those things we're gonna look at reallocating. Very likely what I talked about with the Board of Finance, and I think I brought up at the last meeting, but just in case I didn't, to reiterate, is spending it on existing SIP items. So maybe like the street sweeper and one of the trucks that we approved. That way it's completely done, ready, but then the money will still sit in the SIP for those line items that were approved, and then we can all discuss and have more time to discuss where that money should be allocated when we have more time.
Okay.
So, and it follows all the ARPA rules, so we should be good. And it just gives us time so we don't have to push forward with, trying to do something too quickly.
Okay, no, that makes sense.
I'm sure, but I can't finish.
We had a good meeting with the chair of the Cultural Coalition, Paul Geis. They're just chugging along. They're doing amazing work. They have so much, they are doing subcommittees, they have different people leading on different things, and they're getting a lot done, which is really exciting, and they seem really passionate about what they're doing, so we should have some good updates there. They do want us to bring forward an ordinance in the probably next town meeting we have about establishing a poet laureate, which I think will be really exciting. So they've looked at, this is also coming from Sustainable Connecticut. This has been something that's been brought up in the past probably a year. I think we talked about it with our previous board. But we said, we don't want to just like create a poet laureate and not have the right mechanisms around it. So they've done a lot of research and kind of looked at different things. So they're going to help draft. They voted, I think, at their most recent meeting. And then they're going to help draft an ordinance and then help us kind of put it forward. But they'll be the ones kind of leading the effort.
Okay.
So
That sounds good.
I think that could be really good and exciting.
Oh, I know. One thing you had updated us before, the water taxi or any other transportation stuff?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Okay. Sorry, this has been like a doozy. Water taxi, no update beyond I put in for the grant with the Connecticut Port Authority in July. And they were great. It was right under the wire, but we probably won't hear back for a little while. So that's kind of on hold until then, although we probably could still have conversations with the property owner about some nuanced details, but really it'll be around that engineering. That whole task force, I think is being compiled about tourism, and they'll focus on transportation. So as soon as that gets started, I'll update you guys. But on on the parking, my goal is at the next, it's so hard knowing who's here, the September meeting, the first one, are you here? Okay, so that'll maybe be my goal then, by that meeting, to have a sort of draft plan to talk about with you and Ben on how we go about creating the parking plan, and then what it could potentially look like. So we did have a really productive meeting with the chief, and someone from Park Mobile came down and presented and ran through some questions. They have to do some more follow-up because we're of course unique and different in our own special ways, and gave them some questions they hadn't really dealt with before, largely around the free parking aspect. So they're going to come back to us just to say what is actually doable when you're looking at enforcement for the turnover, as well as discounts and what they have to charge, so for transaction fees and things like that. So they're going to come back to us. So as soon as I hear that, I can put more pen to paper, but my goal is, by that'll be my goal in 3 weeks,
Okay.
to get you guys a plan, both in terms of what we're thinking, in terms of what streets would be kind of what zones and how it could work, and then how we then re-engage the community before we go to the police commission. So I definitely want to have another
Yeah.
community engagement before we go to the police commission, and I love your guys' input, and I think Ben has probably the strongest feelings on this, so we could see what he thinks, whether we just have a board of selectmen meeting, or we invite the public and make it a bit more informal and open, or if we go to the public with another kind of community dialogue, maybe at the fire station again. So we can see what people, and I have to follow up with Paul Sarger too, but what they think is best, we could do.
Could this plan, I know it's sort of
Yeah.
unrelated and parallel, include looking again at some kind of a shuttle or trolley or something like that?
So I'd say, yeah, so this was kind of some of the chief's point was, while we're maybe like hyper or like focused right now on getting something approved that is like, X, Y street is this, and this is what we're looking for, we should be talking about our bigger vision. So to say, with, this happening, and if we are able to implement this, it could help push more traffic to park, at the Seaport, who've been really willing partners,
Yeah.
and that, they are running their shuttle.
Yeah.
But to get maybe more feedback from people who are taking it or not taking it, maybe the EDC could help us, things like that. So it's a good point to like, what else can we do along with
Yeah,
it
that's
to
what I'm
get
thinking, in
input,
addition
to say like,
Yeah.
would you be more willing, or maybe partnering with the state, like this tourism kind
Yeah.
of coalition, to talk about what do people like to ride? So are they not riding it because they want an open air, trolley and
Yeah.
not a van? Are there things like
Yeah.
that maybe the state group could help us with? And do some maybe surveying of visitors, maybe through CT Visit website or some of these other things. So yeah, that's a really good point. So remind me, September 3rd meeting, that's something we should be factoring in. Then we'll also try and factor in, while we're not looking at anything there now, to be sure people understand, like there is current parking enforcement, like hours, in downtown Pawcatuck, in the borough, and these are areas that obviously as a community, like we'll need to look at. Right now we're focusing on Mystic because that's where the most amount of calls come from, the most issues, where we've spent 2 years, but that we will be looking at these other areas, and we might then say, nope, they're fine the way they are, or no, let's actually engage and maybe do something there. But just to be sure people know, like we will be circling back with these other areas. Obviously we won't leave the borough one, but we would
Yeah.
leave downtown Pawcatuck.
Okay. All right, last question. Any updates on DECD and Boathouse?
For Brownfield?
For Brownfields, the money that we were trying to get some additional funds from them.
No, not that I know of. So
Okay.
as far as I know, Molly was talking with you
Mhm.
about the different areas.
Yep.
And then you had given her feedback on that, and that she was gonna try and schedule a follow-up with them, with you.
Okay.
So you could end with Chad, so that way the three of you could revisit
So we need to.
some of those areas.
Okay.
So if you don't mind, could you,
You need to tell her.
I will too, but if you could ping her
Yeah.
and just say, hey, let's set up that, and you know them better than I do, if it's better to send like a kind of cover letter, like explaining the changes and which ones we'd like to kind of rebuttal with them of why we think they should be covered, or if it should just be in real live time.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I mean, I think it should be in live time first, honestly, but.
All right, and
let
then
me-
do a follow-up, yeah. So if you
I'm
don't
just
mind
putting
talking
this
to
in
her.
my-
Yeah, take your time.
So. Good.
And then we should hear back about those living shoreline grants hopefully in November. And
All right. No, that was all my questions.
a workshop meeting. Okay, all right, I think that's it.
All right.
All right, if nothing else, then at 6:10, the meeting is adjourned.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.